The full roadmap with upcoming Assassin's Creed games has leaked and it includes some surprises. For one, they are doubling down on the RPG games with 2 planned for the next 6 years. But also remakes, multiplayer experiences and way more. I want to go in chronological order, tell you when I think these titles will release, and also talk about some other things that stand out or that are missing. Let's start with Jade, basically Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2 but set in China, and that does feature a full main campaign. In the tutorial you fight alongside Cassandra. There's an open world to explore with different activities, big mythical creatures to fight alone or with other players. There are also special co-op missions, enemies combat challenges. Like, there's a lot. I think this could be really cool. We are seeing some of these AAA mobile games come to PC as well, so fingers crossed that that's at least the case here too. But yeah, we should see Jade very soon. We'll of course keep you posted here. A big paid release in the next 12 months is likely going to be the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Remaster or Remake. I think it will be kind of like Oblivion, so they might call it a remaster, but it will have way more than just enhanced visuals. Of course, already seeing the new wind tech and other graphical upgrades from Shadows in Black Flag will be huge. But I'm curious if they will also change and improve gameplay aspects. You would expect that, right? Let me know if you would want the modern combat in Black Flag or if they should keep the counter-based gameplay in the comments down below. I think they will keep the counter-based but improve it a bit, but not go full RPG. So these are the titles we can expect in 2025 and early 2026, but let's look beyond that. Again, there's a ton planned. Leave a like if you are curious about the future of Assassin's Creed, and of course subscribe because I will keep you posted here on the channel. But first, the sponsor of this video, Game of Thrones Kingsroad, a brand new free action RPG that I've been playing and am really surprised by. It's set during the 4th season of the show and has a brand new story that involves many familiar characters. You can explore open zones in Westeros, pick up quests, but also fight huge creatures in a special multiplayer mode. And they keep adding new zones and bosses to the game as well, like the first update they just put out is huge. At the start you pick one of 3 classes, the big sword wielding knight, the fast and agile assassin, or the heavy brute character, the sellsword. And you can further customize them and craft special gear and armor to create your own playstyle. There's cross-platform and cross-progression between PC and mobile. Like, totally check the game out right now for free through the special link in the video description. That would really support the channel as well, so thanks for that. Thanks to Netmarble and Game of Thrones Kingsroad for sponsoring the video, and now let's get back into it. Another smaller game we, according to Tom Henderson, can expect in the next 12 months is Assassin's Creed codenamed Invictus. Ubisoft already announced this title themselves. We have reports saying that it's a Fall Guys-like game, and that doesn't sound exciting to me at all, but Tom Henderson in a recent Insider Gaming Weekly podcast says that it won't feature jelly beans, which good news. And that we should think of it as an 18-player multiplayer game in like a Colosseum, for example, with spikes coming out of the ground and flamethrowers. And then a few people like fall off each round and you have to survive multiple rounds in order to be successful. Maybe it looks like this indie game. But yeah, I struggle to see how this is an Assassin's Creed experience. But it's noted that if Invictus aligns with internal expectations, there's around a 5-year plan for support and updates already penciled in. A reminder though, there's not been a Ubisoft free-to-play game that has met internal expectations, and of course they all shut down. I think it's fun to create a timeline, of course all based on these leaks and with my predictions for when these titles will release, so nothing confirmed, but it will give us an idea. This is what it would look like with all the games we discussed so far, and now moving on to the first big mainline title, Assassin's Creed Hexe, that should come out after Shadow support has ended, and that should be around the end of 2026. Like end of October around Halloween would be perfect, as the game has a dark, gloomy setting during the 16th century Holy Roman War, where we seemingly play a female lead currently named Elsa, who has supernatural abilities like being able to possess a cat to then distract soldiers. similar to say a murdered soul suspect. I remember with the reveal of Dawn of Ragnarok when we saw the crazy mythical abilities that people were wondering, yo, is this still Assassin's Creed? So I'm curious how the reveal of Hexe will go over, but I want to keep an open mind and I'm always for cool mechanics that can make the gameplay feel fresh, as long as they keep the Assassin's Creed flavor, but I think Ubisoft knows that. Hexe should also be a more linear title, but with some open world elements, so maybe comparable to a God of War or the Tomb Raider reboot games. Hopefully more narrative and cutscene heavy. I really hope Hexe surprises us. Now we go into surprising territory, because Tom Henderson notes that Scarlet is the next big RPG after Shadows and will release after Hexe support ends, which is 1 year. So that would be around the end of 2027, and this is seemingly what we previously knew as Nebula. So with 3 settings, the Aztec Empire, India and the Mediterranean, and made by Ubisoft Sofia. They helped with Origins and Valhalla, but also did Rogue, led the Curse of the Pharaohs, and the before mentioned Dawn of Ragnarok expansion. So them now leading a full-on RPG is a pretty big deal. Like, this should also have 2 years of support, just like Shadows, so is being treated seemingly as a mainline title. Just Marino had an interesting theory saying, what if we play Cassandra in this title, because that would be one way to link all 3 settings together. I would prefer, I think, newer characters, but your theories are of course more than welcome in the comments down below. So we are now around the end of 2027, in the 20th anniversary period actually, and this also when the second remake that should enter development after Black Flag is supposed to come out. I would be shocked if this is not the first game for the full nostalgic trip, but we will see. I'm putting this in early 2028, but of course an AC1 remake in November at the 20th anniversary would be insane. Emerald will launch shortly after Stardust within a couple of months and will be another multiplayer title with at least a 5-year plan if the game releases and meets internal expectations. So this seems to be the PvE co-op game that was previously called codenamed Raid, so think Unity co-op but then likely with the RPG gameplay if I had to guess. Maybe it will be a spiritual successor to the Shadows co-op they are working on for the post-launch, but hard to say. Then 2 years after the Scarlet post-launch, so that would be the end of 2029, we will get RPG 3. This is likely the next game from the Assassin's Creed Shadows team, so Ubisoft Quebec. So they're likely brainstorming and making concepts for what the setting will be for the next game. So if you spot them while on a holiday, let me know. That will likely be a clue. And then 1 year later, we should get the third remake. So that is what the roadmap then seemingly will kind of look like. Although things can of course change, but yeah, it is overall a lot. So I said that I think some things are missing, and for one, it's a new Mirage style game. I really thought Ubisoft Bordeaux, after the success of Mirage that had a very limited development cycle and budget, would get the chance to make a bigger, more traditional Assassin's Creed. But maybe the remakes are supposed to fill that void. Ubisoft also said that we're not coming out with another 150-hour game right after Red, Cote said of Hexe's release. Those games can live concurrently. So I thought that Shadows would still get DLC and content even after Hexe's launch, so get a year 3, but Tom Henderson is really only talking about 2 years of support for the RPG games. Now to be fair, I think that's actually fine. After 2 years, I'm ready to move on, and it seems like a new RPG will then quickly release after the support has ended. Of course, really curious to hear what you think about this roadmap. Are you missing something or excited for a game in particular? Like of course Montreal, the Valhalla and Origins team will after Hexe go and make another game. That will likely be at the end of 2030 or 2031. But I think what that will be will depend on the success of Hexe. Like, did we like that new approach, that new formula, or not? It will be interesting. And I overall, by the way, don't think that this is too much, as they should all be kind of different type of gameplay experience. But it might get overwhelming at one point if these multiplayer games do well and have their seasons on top of expansions that we get for the RPGs, and then also new remakes and other games. But to be fair, I think there is a hunger for more Assassin's Creed, as it's clear in the critique that quite some people have on the slow pace that we see with Shadows. So if in between those RPG updates we get other content, I think it could be cool. I will of course keep you up to date here for those next 6 years and beyond. So a like on the video would be awesome. And check out our previous video on the recent Shadows update and some secret changes by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.